This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the place to go to if you want to set up your own slick looking website or online store.
DJI update their products a lot, so the new OSMO Pocket 3, is long overdue. It's been about 3 years since the last Pocket, which is like an eternity in terms of DJI product shelf lives, but this is by far a better camera than the OSMO Pocket 2.
When you first start this up, the first thing that you'll notice that is new is this fancy new screen. Well, it's not huge, it's bigger and more useful than the last one, and they did that by doing this. It's an elegant solution to overcome the fact that there isn't much space for a screen, a problem which meant compromises had to be made with the previous Pockets. So the good thing with that is that you can have it either horizontal or vertical, depending on if you're shooting horizontal or vertical video, but it can be also used to switch it on, and it is quite quick to start up. Actually, one thing you'll notice when you switch the thing off is that the camera kind of tucks itself away with the lens pointing inwards, so you won't scratch it on anything when you tuck it in your pocket. Yes, so new form factor, but not wildly different. So if you've used previous Pockets before, you'll feel right at home if your home looks like an OSMO Pocket. So physical controls are pretty much the same. Press twice to recenter the gimbal, or 3 times for selfie mode. Hello. The main thing is that the touchscreen interface is a lot more usable now for changing settings or tapping for focus, but that's not the exciting bit. Alright, so that's the controls and stuff, yeah. But the most interesting thing about this is the fact that this has got a 1-inch sensor. Oh yes, indeed. The 1-inch sensor is a significant increase in size over the Pocket 2. The video that you get from the OP3 isn't highly sharpened. It looks 1-inch sensor-like, and you can even get kind of shallow depth of field. There is a little bit of clever software stuff. I mean, even with the normal picture profile, the dynamic range looks almost suspiciously good. Even when backlit, there's plenty of shadow and highlight detail retained, just a little bit around the clouds where the sun is peeking out from, where it's overblown. There's nothing really to dislike about the video quality. With a bigger sensor, it just produces a cleaner, better looking image. So therefore, this is a great package that really sets it apart from the 2 cameras which I think this is going to compete against. First off, DJI's own Action 4. Well, the thing is, although the Action 4 has some clever software stuff that makes the stabilization super smooth, or as they'd call it, hyper smooth, the sensor size is still not as big as the one in the OSMO Pocket 3, so the image quality is not as good. But of course the Action 4 is better suited for action because it is more rugged and it has got a wider angle, so there's that. For action, the action obviously. For most other kinds of video, I'd say the OSMO Pocket 3. And if we're talking about pocket vlogging cameras, the ZV1 2 springs to mind. The problem I have with vlogging with the ZV1 and ZV1 2 is just that it's a bit too shaky when you're walking about like this. It's just the Sony thing. Even with active stabilization, it's never really going to be as smooth as something with a gimbal. Sony's stabilization is much better than previous years, but they're far from being the best. Unsurprisingly, Z1 2 walking shot, although just about acceptable, is no way near as smooth as the OSMO Pocket 3's, and I'd never bother with filming a running shot with the Sony. Note also that although both are 20mm widest, Sony's active stabilization makes it a tighter crop. The ZV1 2 video will look totally fine if you don't move much when taking video or vlogging. It's just when you start moving that it doesn't look anywhere near as slick as the OSMO Pocket 3. And actually, one thing I was surprised about is that the internal mic on the OSMO Pocket 3 is not too bad actually. Okay, so now we're on internal mics for both of them. How do they sound? Does it pick up wind noise? I mean, I've got the dead cat on the Sony, no dead cat on the DJI. Okay, so now we're on internal mics for both of them. How do they sound? Does it pick up wind noise? I mean, I've got the dead cat on the Sony, no dead cat on the DJI. Alright, so now I've got the lav mic on. Hopefully it'll sound a bit better than this. That's perhaps one thing I don't quite like about using lav mics when vlogging. It's just a bit of a faff to switch on and switch off. But if it's just connected as easily as that, then why not? It has an additional battery grip, but the receiver for the mic is built into the main body itself. No add-ons needed. So how this transmitter works is that it's got its own internal mic, or you can plug in your own lav mic, which is what I'm doing right now. And as long as this is on, it will connect automatically to your OSMO Pocket 3, as long as that's switched on as well. It's quick, it's easy, it's got its own internal recording for backup as well, and it will focus more on your voice.
maybe not so much on other people's, but stuff other people. You don't need friends anyway. And oh, by the way, check out that focus.
They call it full pixel fast focusing. It's phase detection autofocus, and it has a product showcase mode too. So if you need your camera to do this, then the Action 4 is out because that has fixed focus. The speed, while not as quick as the Sony, is still very good and accurate. When it comes to focusing on animals, the Sony is simply better at acquiring focus. However, if we're talking about tracking subjects for framing, the Osmo Pocket 3 can do the work to keep the subject in the same part of the frame, with modes like face auto detect, and then there's dynamic framing that allows you to choose a different part of the frame if you don't want the point of focus to be slap bang in the middle of the frame. Oh, and by the way, there's the Inception style spin shot mode too. The subject tracking modes work really well for fast moving shots. Even without it, you can get really cool shots that you simply couldn't get with most other pocket cameras. And it does it in 4K 60 and even 120. Whereas the previous pockets were pretty neat, I think the Osmo Pocket 3 is seriously cool. But really, that is all that really needs to be said about this camera. The footage from the Osmo Pocket 3 will look not too different to ZV1 2. It does log, hybrid log camera. Okay, the DJI does 10-bit, but where the OP3 really shines is that you can take 4K 120. The Sony only goes up to 4K 30. So if you're really looking for a video taking camera like the Osmo Pocket 3, then there really is no better option than the Osmo Pocket 3, obviously.
Oh, and by the way, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you want to set up your own website, online store, just your domain, you should check them out because they've got a fantastic interface that makes things super easy to do with untold amounts of slick looking templates and 24/7 customer service to help you out if things get a bit sticky. And to get you going, there's a 14-day free trial and 10% off your first order. Links down below. Thanks for watching. See you later.